Hi, everybody. How's everybody going tonight? Again, it's Wednesday evening, and we're really looking forward to talking to everybody about today. Kimberly posted something this morning on her Facebook, and
It was my Wednesday's words of wisdom.
right, and it's something that really got us thinking about kind of how we got to where we got to, and what were our dreams when we were young, and what brought us together, and how did we ended up, just pursuing the things that we pursued that got us in the debacle that we ended up in, that we had to seek God's help and help Him get us through it. So Kimberly wants to read that really quick, and then we're going to talk a little bit about what that is. So
Yeah, I don't know if you guys saw it. Facebook's changed so much now. You can barely see any of your friends' posts or anything anymore. Okay, so I just posted it this morning, and it was from my girlfriend Sandra, and she had such wise words. I told her, I'm sharing your post. Okay, when is enough enough? I had my priorities twisted until God got a hold of me. I used to strive for more money, more achievements, more influence for the wrong reasons. This was my view of success. I even neglected my family for a while, not to mention my friends. These days, so many are caught up in busyness and strive to achieve more and more money, status, career, popularity, you name it. To buy more things we really don't need with the money we really don't have, to impress the people we really even don't like, while risking our own health along the way. This leaves many with having no time to nurture the most important part in life, relationships, since we are so self-centered. At the end of our lives, we don't ask ourselves, I should have had more money in the bank, or I should have spent more time at the office, since we can't take these things with us. No, we regret that we haven't spent more time with the people we love. Let's focus on the true riches in life and strive for and achieve things for the right reasons. Because the moment you realize you don't need to prove yourself to anyone, you become free. And then abundance overflows and peace gets a hold of you like you never knew existed. God opens doors and opportunities open up on another level when you start doing things for unselfish reasons. Thank you, Sandra Rechsteiner, for the amazing words of wisdom, and I had to share them because Jay and I we felt the same way. And if any of you watched our story, we do have our story pinned at the top of Relentless Love. And if you've watched our story, then you've noticed that we kind of feel the same way. And we live such a different life now, and a life of peace and all that. So, we kind of get caught up with things and things filling us up. And so when I was a kid, I was raised in the 80s when MTV was huge, like MTV came out. And, you'd watch MTV and you'd idolize these people and you'd want that. And I wanted fame and fortune. And like my parents always made it sound like that was the way to go too. Like you have to be wealthy to even be somebody. You have to have money because they always struggled. But I believe it's wrong to think that way. It's okay to have money, but it's what you do when you have money. Like you don't want to make it the entire focus of your entire life.
Well,
that's kind of what I did.
Yeah, and it's not just that. It's not the idea of making money, because if you're wealthy, you make good money, you work hard, and you've got God in the middle of all that and doing all the things that God is asking you to do. It's an amazing blessing for you, and that's what she was referring to at the end. But nobody goes and spends their whole life and has somebody write on their tombstone, I wish I'd spent more time at the office.
Right.
Nobody does that. And even more than that, as Kimberly was talking about in her youth, mine was the 70s, which was, disco, rock and roll, when rock and roll really began to take off. And, the rock stars and being a guitarist or being a drummer in a band and all that stuff was what I grew up with. It wasn't something that fortunately, I didn't have the talent for. But my dad got a convertible Porsche in 1985. And that's when I was 17 years old. And from that day forward, I was 17 years old. Wait a minute, I was 24 years old.
In 85, I
yeah,
hope so.
And
because I was almost graduating.
Right, right. But anyway, so I saw that car, and I said, someday I'm going to get that. And that's when I started selling real estate. And that was one of my dreams and pursuits. But it wasn't just that car. It was that lifestyle, making that money, living that life. And my motto...
The life of the rich and famous.
Yeah. And my life was all about there's a lot of money out there, just go get some. And that was literally my motto. When Kimberly wanted something in the house, or she wanted something different, or she wanted, the first car we bought that was a nice car, I bought her a convertible Jaguar because she wanted the Jaguar. And I said, honey, that's okay. There's a lot of money out there. I'm just going to go get some of it.
Whatever we wanted, we just bought. We didn't even think about it.
Right. And we pursued.
It was just stupidity, a lot of it.
Yeah, and we pursued all the things. We weren't pursuing the things that God wanted us to pursue. All that money we were making, and we weren't being generous. We weren't donating.
We were being very selfish.
Right. And it was really at the time we thought, well, this is great, this is great, this is great. And every time we had one thing, there was something else that came out that was new that we had to have.
Yeah.
The LED TV, $6,000. By the way, I never bought one because I just said no.
We waited till they were cheaper.
Right.
But we got smart then. But it's true. It's like the newest Apple phone or the newest this gadget, that gadget. You could seriously get caught up, and you could be out there spending money and charging credit cards like crazy. And we did charge credit cards and to get this, to get that. And now we're like, we want to be debt free, and we want to live very modestly, and we would always live above our means to where we had to make this much money just to make it happen.
Well, we weren't living above our means because we were making good money, but we had to keep making that money. Yeah, we had to always sustain that money. We always had to sustain that income, and that income at a certain level in my company was $80,000 a month.
Right. It's crazy.
And I got home one day, and after getting to that level, I just went home one day and said, Kim, this is not fun anymore.
Right. That was just his overhead.
Yeah,
that was his overhead.
Yeah, that was our debt, monthly, just to pay everybody that was working for us. And I know for some guys, they have these big companies, and that's not a big deal to them, and they're really good at managing that. But it did put a level of stress on me and a level of work time that I had to put on these things, and it was taking away from Kimberly, taking away from my focus, taking away from my kids, and that became the most important thing. I had to make sure that I was generating the income to maintain the lifestyle that we had created together.
Right.
And then when we had gotten to a certain point, we had lost each other. Right. And that's what brought on all the things that went wrong for us. Is that I was off doing my own thing. I was happy with what I was doing. I was successful. I'm a man, and that's what I'm supposed to do. But she was at home alone, with the kids. And she was just trying to take care of herself. And, idle hands, sometimes get us caught on the wrong path. And it's just the wrong path. And we don't know how to help other people understand that other than talk about it like we are now. Being successful is an amazing thing. And those of you who have it, maintain it and get God in the middle of it so that you use it for everything that you can.
For your purpose, right?
For God's purpose.
Sometimes we get, for God's purpose for your life. We get sidetracked. Like, what's in it for me, right? Oh, I want that promotion. I want that accolade. You know what? If you seek God first and ask Him, Lord, fill my heart's desires. Give me everything around. And I had to go to that point to where God had to, I was praying every day, Lord, just fill me with all my heart's desires, what your will is for my life. And when He started opening doors for me and things started happening in my life, I was like, wow.
That was after we lost everything.
Yeah,
she became successful in her business.
But this is just like now the life that I have. It's not about the money. The money comes when you're successful and you love what you do. It's like God has put me into a place where I absolutely love what I do. I help newer agents. I help train them, mentor them and coach. And my team is amazing. And my life is just so much better, and I have more peace. And
do you make as much money as we used to?
Well, I personally never, I don't think I ever made money like I am now.
Right.
You were always the one making the money, and I was just in the back.
Right. And now you're
I'm making some good money, and then now Jay's doing his thing. But that's not the point. The money isn't the point. What we're saying is God's purpose for your life.
Right. It was getting God in there.
It was getting Him in the middle, in the midst, and Him being number one. And then now all of a sudden your perspective changes. Like everything in your life changes. And believe me, we tried to fill our lives with all this worldly stuff, going shopping and having this and having that car and this big house and that big house and the houseboat and all that. And it made us crazy.
Right.
And I think this is what's happening in our society. I think people are stressed to no end, and it's just crazy. And I just notice on the roads how crazy people are. Like they're so much in a hurry to get nowhere. They're in a hurry to get nowhere. Why are we in a hurry to get to a destination? We need to enjoy the journey. And it took me so long to understand that. Like, we just want to reach this destination, and then all of a sudden we're at our destination and we're at the grave and we're going, wait a second, my life just flew by and I just missed it all.
Yeah, and not only that, when you reach a destination and you reach a goal, like we got the houseboat at Lake Powell. Right when we got the houseboat at Lake Powell, guess what we're doing? We're looking at the other one down there. Look at that one. That one's really nice. And we start to plan, okay, we'll keep this one for a few years. And then all of a sudden, we're always focused on stuff around us and never the lives around us, the friends around us.
Or how blessed we truly were at the time.
Right, those relationships that are around us. And we had friends, but it was still about our stuff and about that time when we could have been giving it to our kids and our family and our friends, and we just didn't do it.
Or people in need, people we don't even know, or to the church. Well, we did give money then, but
now
not
it's
from our
different.
heart.
But now it's just different. Now we have a path that's so different, and as God blesses us, we hope to do some of the things that we failed to do back then. And we hope that as you all are very successful and moderately successful, and just living your life and having joy just because of where you are, just find that peace where you are. It doesn't really matter. Money, no money, little bit of money. It's all good stuff.
Say? Be content.
I found content. He found contentment in pain and in joy, in plenty and in leanness. He found it.
In want and plenty and whatever. When you have joy in the Lord, it doesn't matter what your surroundings, what's going on around you. Because we all battle so many things. Sickness, death in the family, just all of our stuff, financial burdens. We all battle it. Jay and I are not immune to it. Literally, we deal with this stuff on a daily basis too. We're just here sharing our story and hoping that you guys can hear from our hearts what transformed in our lives. And it's not, it's not that, I'll be happy when scenario.
Not anymore. Right? It used to be, though.
It used to be.
Because every time we got to that when, guess what? We wanted another when. And being happy was just part of a nothing. We got us nothing. We weren't happy.
You're filling it. And you see all these rock stars and all these movies out. They're all filling themselves with all this stuff that they think fame and fortune's going to do. And they're all unhappy, and they're alcoholics and drug addicts. I mean, my gosh. And I'm like, wow, thank you, Lord, that I did not go down that path, because I wanted to go down that path. But it's true. You can't fill yourself up with the things of this world. It doesn't make you happy. So thank you guys for watching. Share, reach out if you have any issues, concerns. We're here to help.
We'd love to meet with you, talk with you if you have concerns or issues or things that you're going through. We've been through enough that I think that we can give some words of wisdom, but we'll always seek God's guidance with you and for you, and pray for you too.
And then if you don't mind, you can just, if you want to hear anything that we're talking about, you can always just drop it here and we can talk. If you want it to be more anonymous, you can just message us separately, privately, Kimberly or Jay.
Talk. Jay. I'm really curious about this. Just do that, and also share this with your friends. Share us at least that 30-minute skit about what we got through and how we talked about our lives, because people need to hear this, because they're in the midst of some misery and you don't know how to help them. We may not know how to help them either, but if they can see how God helped us, that hopefully they could see that they could go to God themselves and get that same help just by going to Him.
Right.
And that's all we want.
And when we surrender and when we humble ourselves, that's when He steps in, when we're at our weakest. And then last but not least, because we have a couple more minutes, the weekend to remember is in Tucson this weekend, if you want to go. And then it's next weekend in Scottsdale Kierland, and you can still sign up. Right. And you can use our code OCC Renew for either one and get $100 off. So OCC Renew and get $100 off. It's a group code. But anyway, you can message us if you guys want to go. Okay, thank you. We love you. Have a great week.
Have a great week. Bye-bye.